So in part 2, I wanted to first show you a little bit about figured bass with respect to augmented six chords. And in this passage, which is only going to be 3-voice passage, you can see the 2 chromatic notes. So there's an A flat and there's an F sharp. So the first thing we have to realize is that if I'm looking for augmented six chords, I'm probably needing to look for chromatic notes, first thing. Second thing is I need to look at where the bass line is going. And as you can see in this example, the A flat is going down to G. So that's the flat 6 in the key of C going down to the 5th. And as we talked about before, the augmented 6 interval tends to expand. So look at the top voice, we have an F sharp, which is in the key of C, scale degree raised 4. Okay, so right there we have our augmented 6 expanding to an octave. So the sharp 4 goes up to G, and the A flat is flat 6 goes down to G. So that's the first kind of principle that we have to talk about. And as you know, 6 stands for basically a first inversion chord. And so what's kind of interesting is if we have 6 and then we have 6-3, that means that the missing note is C. So now we have scale degree lowered 6 or flat 6, scale degree sharp 4, and C. And so this is actually the figured bass for an Italian augmented 6 chord. You'll just see plus 6, but you'll have to have scale degree flat 6. Of course, in minor, you would just have the A flat, but in major, you have to lower scale degree 6, and here it is. Now, besides seeing the plus after the 6 in the figured bass, you might see it expressed like this with a slash, a backslash going that way, as also raise the 6th above the bass. So now I just went ahead and filled in the inner voices for this passage, and as you can see, the 6 plus requires that you put a C because the 6 plus actually stands for 6-3, right? Just like the 6 here, I put a C for this one, and that's actually the 4-6 chord, right? So that one would be the 4-6 chord. So now my Roman numeral analysis would be big 1, 4-6, Italian augmented 6, 5, then 1, and that of course would be the borrowed 4 with the A flat up there. So F, A flat, I didn't put a C in, but I could have. And so let's listen to how this one sounds now. So let's listen to how this one sounds. There it is. In this next example, we're in D minor. You might notice that the G sharp is scale degree sharp 4. So if we check there, we might think that this is where we might be harmonizing an augmented 6 chord. Of course, we'd have to look and see what's in the bass. And in the bass, there is a B flat. So B flat and G sharp, there's your augmented 6 interval. So once again, we're looking at some type of augmented 6 chord. Now what type? Well, we have to fill in the other numbers, okay? So this is 4-3, so that means above the B flat, which is in the bass, there is a third, which would be a D, and there is also a 4th above the B flat, which would be an E. So what we get now is B flat, D, E, and G sharp. And so this, of course, would be the French augmented 6. And so in our 4-part writing, we would have to put an E, and we'd have to put a D. Now I might point out at this juncture, you might notice that when we had the B flat in the bass, which is the flat 6, if you go up a major third from there, you actually get what key you're in. And so that's another thing about augmented 6 chords. If I want to know what is basically the formula for the key, okay, go up a major third from the flat 6 and you will know that that's the tonic. And so D is tonic, and so scale degree 1 is D and scale degree 2 is E, and therefore this is a French augmented 6 chord. So now I show you how I realized this. I started with the D and the F here, and I moved on through, and here I got to the French augmented six, so I knew I needed a D and an E. And so once again, notice that the B flat goes down and the G sharp goes up, and we get a nice 164. And so this is a French augmented six. So this would be my Roman numeral analysis. We have a 1, 7 diminished 7, going back to 1, and then B flat, D, E, G sharp is the French augmented six. See, it's got scale degree 2 and scale degree 1, plus it has the flat 6 and the sharp 4. I could have also gone directly to the 5/7 here since it's the French, but so let's listen to this one. So this example is in E major, and I just went ahead and filled it in, and I wanted to show you what the figured bass would be for the final type, which is the German, right? So if we're in the key of E major, scale degree flat 6 or lowered 6 is actually C natural. So in E major we get a C natural, and we have to put it there to make it flat 6. And again, look for the bass to go down like this. It goes down. Then we need a tonic, which is E, and then we need a lowered third, which is the G natural. So look in the figured bass, German would be 6/5, right? Because, and then you'd have to raise the 6. So the 6 above C is A, and raise it is A sharp. 5 above C is G, and you make it natural. So that's how we get C, E, G. And of course, when we have 6/5, the missing number that you don't see is 3, and 3 above C is E. And just remember once again that the key is encoded in the augmented 6 spelling, because a major third above flat 6 is the theoretical tonic. Okay, and so once again, this would then be the German augmented 6. So the Roman numeral analysis would be 1, 5, 6, 4, 6, then we get the German augmented 6. So C, E, G natural, A sharp. Then, of course, the German, to avoid the parallel fifths, we go to the 164, and we go to the 5/7, and then we go to the 1. So let's listen to this example. So to summarize and a sort of review, just wanted to go over some of the terms that you might hear. You might hear the Italian augmented 6 referred to as the Italian 6/3. So what that means is that, of course, that above the C flat here, there'll be a third and a sixth. And of course, it's going to be the raised 6, right? So I need raised scale degree 4, which is the A natural, and I need scale degree 1. So there I have it. Flat 6, if you will. It actually is flat here. Tonic, E flat, and A natural, raised scale degree 4, and basically they'll resolve to the 5 chord over here. I just show you that the augmented 6 interval expands to the octave, and to have at least the third over there in the 3 parts, I want the D, so I'm going to have my E flat go down. So you might hear sometimes the French augmented 6 chord referred to as the French 4/3, and once again, when we see 4/3, it implies 6/4/3. So we're going to have raised scale degree 4, then 3 above this C flat here would be E flat, and 4 would actually be F. So now there you have it. I have my sharp 4 in the top, which is actually an A natural. Scale degree 2 in the key of E flat is F, and tonic is scale degree 1. And of course the C flat is scale degree flat 6, and that would resolve to the 5 chord again. If I went to the 5/7, the A natural would drop down to an A flat. So now the German augmented 6, you may hear it referred to sometimes as the German 6/5. And again, that just shows us that we're going to have 6, 5, and 3, and of course the 6 is going to be, all of these are going to be above the bass. So the C flat, 5 above C flat is G flat. Okay, so you actually have to flat that one. And 6 above it is going to be the augmented, raised scale degree 4. That's going to be our augmented 6 interval. And 3, of course, will be tonic E flat. So this time I went ahead and went to a 5/7 just to show you that the A natural will now drop down to an A flat. Now I have parallel fifths here, which is why we usually have the 1/6/4 first, and we'll talk a little bit about the German augmented 6, because sometimes, as we will find out, that G flat there may actually be spelled as an F sharp, and you'll see why when we get to that. So now this is what happens when we're in major keys. Sometimes you will see the German augmented 6 spelled with scale degree sharp 2 rather than scale degree flat 3. So here's an example of the German augmented 6 with the doubly augmented fourth. This is from Schumann's Dichterliebe, Opus 48, number 12, measures 1 through 3. And you can see right here that the G flat, B flat, C sharp, and E. See, so this is actually a German augmented 6. The C sharp could have been spelled D flat, but because he's going to the 1/6/4, see, the C sharp is going to basically go up to the D, and that's basically how the voice leading is going to occur. And so often in major only we will see this. So let's listen to this example. 1/6/4, 5/7. So you can see raised scale degree 2 is really the same as lowered scale degree 3, so you would not call this a French, you'd call it a German. And so you'll see the terms, the German augmented 6 with the doubly augmented fourth, German augmented 6 ++ 4, and also the enharmonic German augmented 6. So yeah, if you take the G flat and go to the C sharp, right, that is a doubly augmented fourth. So in the next section we'll talk more about unusual features of German augmented 6 chords and other augmented 6.